UCI BMX World Championships.
Welcome to the UCI BMX World Championships here in Birmingham, England. The National Indoor Arena, located right in the heart of UK's second biggest city, is the perfect venue to stage the biggest annual prize in BMX racing. A record sellout crowd has gathered to see the world's best junior and elite riders bidding for the coveted rainbow jersey. The World Championships also represent the last chance for our elite riders to secure a spot at the London Olympic Games.
Yeah, the World Championships, biggest race all year, especially a big race for me because it's going to determine if I make the Olympic team or not, depending how I do. So just going to take one lap at a time and ride and my best, and we'll see what comes out on top.
It's huge, you know. I kind of haven't felt like myself since getting hurt in 2010, and just now starting to feel good, so I need to crack into a final, and the biggest race would be World.
Since I was little, I came back every race, every World Championship, being the world champion, so I'm used to it. I don't feel pressure. I'm gonna do my best. I'm coming from 2 injuries, so I'm relaxed.
If you start thinking too much, it's not gonna work. Not for me especially. Just having fun and hang in there and give it all.
Here in Birmingham, it's a sold-out crowd tonight, so big crowd is what I like, and just for me I know that I'm fast enough and I've trained hard, and everything. If I put everything together on a night, I could definitely be my world title.
I think it's the biggest race of the year, you know. When there's no Olympics, then I think the World's definitely is the biggest race of the year. So I think that's a very important race, and everybody look real focused.
New Zealand is right on the borderline of qualifying for the Olympics at the moment, so it's going to be good to get some good points this weekend, just to secure that spot, and if we don't, just to secure one of the 4 spots left over.
Here's a look at the track. The game changer will be the second turn, where the athletes will try to negotiate the tight, paved corner and exit with some speed. The longest rhythm section comes after the second turn and provides a perfect chance to gain a position as they head into yet another tricky turn. From there, it's a quick sprint over a short technical section and on to the finish line.
The track's pretty good, you know, it's smooth. We don't have to deal with the conditions outside, and it should make for some good racing.
But when you get out there and you ride it, it's a fast track, and I think you're going to see some awesome racing on it. There's definitely going to be, you know, a lot of room for bar-to-bar aggressive action. No one's going to be holding back out there for sure.
I think it's just going to be a lot of follow the leader with a lot of bombers. When it comes to the pressure situations, I think it's just going to be a lot of inside moves in that second and last turn, so you just need to be prepared for it.
The track's pretty good, actually. It's not as big as the other supercross tracks, but it's pretty decent size, really flowy, and I like it.
The track is all right. I mean, for me, it's all right now because I'm not in full speed yet, so I can clear the jumps. The track is small, so the times will be really close to each other, but we'll see what happens after time trial.
It's a good track. It's tight, small, but very good track. Good corner. I like the track.
At least you can attack everything a lot faster, and it's pinned up, but everyone's got to ride it.
It's got some nice fast corners, bitumised corners, so that's cool, and obviously the big hills. So it's super short and it's tight, so you've kind of got to. It's important to get out that gate quick this weekend, and yeah, just such a short first straight. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. But you know, it's fun. It flows well, so it's still good to ride.
The track felt good. It was built really well, super smooth track. Just like I said, jumps are a little small, so you know it's got to slow down in some of the places to really keep it smooth. But yeah, nice track, built really good. It's awesome having asphalt turns on an indoor arena, so we haven't had dirt turns in probably the last season or 2, so it's good to keep that consistent.
First up, the junior women riders took to the track in hopes of claiming one of the top 8 time trial super final berths. In a thrilling climax, USA rider Felicia Stansel claimed the gold medal. The 17-year-old, who has been on the Elite Tour for less than a year, dominated the super final and in the process became the only rider to break the 30-second barrier. Stansel, who is a future prospect for Team USA at the 2016 Olympics, cemented her reputation as one of the best juniors in the world. Germany's Nadja Ries claimed the silver ahead of Denmark's Simone Christiansen. 16 men made it through to the junior time trial super final. The field rode fast and hard, laying down the most impressive lap times of the day. And it was the French team celebrating first as Romain Maheu became the only junior to post a sub-27 second lap. The 17-year-old, showing poise and speed, claimed gold for his country, just ahead of Colombian hotshot Carlos Ramirez Yepes and U.S. rider Lane Van Ogle, who earned the bronze. The depth of talent among the junior women BMX riders here in Birmingham is staggering. As one of the leading nations, Team USA has high expectations for 17-year-old Felicia Stansel.
My name is Felicia Stansel, 17 years old, from the United States of America. This is the biggest race for a racer not in the Olympics, so it means a lot to me. I have 10 world titles. I never lost one race so far of worlds, so coming out here with a win would be perfect. My style is a little different. I grew up racing with boys, so I tend to jump a little more than other girls. Jumping is my strength. Right now for junior women, hopefully my jumping skills will take me to the line. This is my first year racing junior elite, so it's going to be a lot harder than the previous years. I live in probably one of the coldest parts of the United States, so I tend not to get as much training time as all the other riders. I tend to have like a world training, like double my schedule, get like really ready for this race. I think my goal is still to take home the gold like every other rider.
Well, the top 8 future stars of the world, 17 and 18-year-olds, the junior women, Felicia Stansel of the U.S. should be poised as one of the favorites coming into this, along with Danny George of the U.S. On the inside, watch a blast out of the gate. Nice gate start. Stansel and Danny George 1-2 going into the first turn, so good luck for USA. Nadja Priest from Germany trying in there. Look, oh no, Danny George with a couple cases, lost her rhythm. Here comes Germany, another German rider making her way into the mix here in the juniors. Stansel all by herself should take out the win. So a great run for her today. If she's on her bike, she's gonna do it. Germany in the 2 spot, and Danny George of the U.S. will settle for the 3rd. And it could be settling. Here's a good shot of Felicia coming down the straightaways. Not a lot. She was kind of riding her own lap in this situation, really against the clock. And her teammate Danny George, a small mistake in the 2nd straightaway, gave the silver medal to Germany. And USA's Felicia Stansel, the gold medal champion in junior women. Only a few short years ago, guys like Sam Willoughby, Joris Dode were at the top of this start hill going for the junior men. A whole new crop and a new group of riders heading out. Semi-final number 1 on the gate, and away we go. The junior men down the start hill. A great race. It looks like France out to an early lead as they blast into turn 1, tight coming through there. Argentina in the mix as well. Check things out going on. Trent Jones coming out of New Zealand, the Kiwi, holding it up, looking to be the next Mark Willers, but right now way out in front. The black and white jersey, you'll notice him in the Netherlands. Peters in the 2 spot, and Nagard from France in the 3 as they try to stretch it out. The top 4 going on to the final event. And a good lock coming down the start hill. The Kiwi in the mix there, and then blasted out as he went on the inside. Right there, you'll see him on the inside of the track. Lots of room, push the other riders way up to the top. A pretty good strategy move as they work their way down the 2nd straightaway. You can see how big that straight really is. And a bit of action there, one of the riders going down. Kiwi not affected by that as he took it away out. Another good shot, a side view. And you'll see a bit of damage there on the backside, just not quite getting it as the Kiwi rides away with the win. And you'll see as the weekend goes on, the track's pretty tight, no room for error. Another rider down, so his chance is gone, rounding the last corner. Not a lot of steepness there, so the rider's got to really be careful. But in this situation, Trent Jones on his way to the main event. And we mentioned the other 3 also, Julian Schmidt from Germany. So Germany making some tracks in the junior men's group as we head to the top of the hill for the 2nd group. And the top 4 going on, and there's an American in there. We're going to be looking for him in the results, of course. Milek Bidlas, where is he? Look, we're looking for one of the top Americans who's really been coming on strong as they go into turn 1. Now check out the positioning. All the riders going pretty high. Bindloss on the inside. Ramirez is in there. Check this guy out. Really, really pushing it as those two drawing out the field. Tremier from France. So France having a really strong showing, trying to get in the 3 spot with a room, and around the last corner you can see it's pretty tight, pretty quick, and the finish line comes up fast. So a good run for Ramirez. Watch for a lot of him coming in the years. He had the inside lane. Definite advantage on this short track as they really have to come in tight. Now look at the positioning. Everybody holding their line, not a lot of movement right there, a little bit of a bump, but everyone trying to ride a safe race. And Ramirez, look at Bindloss, just sort of tucked in there playing a smart race. And another great shot of the huge jump going into turn 2. And your leader right there, Ramirez, riding onto the final 1 rider down, so not too much carnage. And another great shot yet again of the last turn. And your winner moving on to the final event, and could be one of the favorites, is Ramirez. So a little bit of strategy coming into play. Lopera, Tremier, Bindloss, and Ramirez on to the main event. Well, as the dust settles, the top 8 junior men are on to the final event. The World Championships provide the perfect showcase for some of the sport's rising stars. Carlos Ramirez has already made his presence felt on this year's UCI's Supercross World Cup Tour. The Colombian is among the leading juniors here in Birmingham.
My name is Carlos Ramirez and I'm from Colombia. It's the biggest race there is in the year after Olympics. Like, Olympics will be the best one for everyone. Like, I'm too young for it, so this one's the best one for this year. We all want to go to Olympics and do our best in Olympics. For me, that's the goal, like get to Olympics 2016 and hopefully get the gold medal or bronze or silver for my country. The program in the UCI, the World Cycling Center, is pretty good. Like, I've been having a great time training with Thomas. He's a really good coach. Like, everything I am right now, like, I owe him a lot. When you're up in that gate, you just think about getting a good gate, getting a good snap down the gate, and just like going as fast as you can into first turn. You gotta do your best lap and just charge as hard as you can in the jumps and push and try getting everyone in the track. The finish line is in the finish line, so you just pump all the way until there.
To the top of the hill we go. The top 8 riders in the junior men's group, they're gonna show down right here. It's a tight and fast track, like we said, so watch for the first corner. Could tell the tale. Look for Malik Bindloss to snap out of the gate quick. And also lane 1, you're looking at him. Ramirez with a great start on the inside. What a snap. The American 1 and 2 as they head into the tight turn. Who's gonna be staying on their bikes? The German in the mix, so Schmidt in there. Germany all over the junior finals. Watch him as he goes on the inside. Oh, no room to move. Ramirez held strong. A nice, strong finish there as the German moves back a little bit. Bindloss trying to keep him out as he goes high in the last corner. And Bindloss going to take the second out, but your winner from wire to wire with a little bit of a scare is Ramirez. And a great shot of him coming down the last straightaway, hands up. It's got to feel good that his first World Championship. A few years down the road, he could be the next Sam Willoughby or Joris Daudet. And as we're going to head back to the track for a quick replay just to see how things went down. A great inside line there, the American Bindloss. 1 and 2 as they went into turn 1, rode pretty smart. And here comes the German with a nice move as Schmidt moves around. And then a good shot of the second straightaway as they move down. Now here's what happened. He goes to the inside and just literally ran out of room in that corner. Not a lot of space. A bad mistake there. He could have been still in silver medal contention. Bindloss says thank you very much from the U.S. as he charges down that straightaway. But it's all about Colombia as they gather up their first gold medal, and his name is Ramirez. So Tremier from France picked up the bronze. Bindloss and Ramirez, your winners. Time for our elite riders to get their first run on this tricky course. Just 32 qualifying spots are up for grabs on the final day of competition. The fastest 16 then shook it down in a thrilling time trial super final. Caroline Buchanan, Australian female powerhouse, again proved to be the woman to beat. The the Australian completed her lap in just under 29 seconds and finished a half-second clear of home favorite Shanaze Reade, who claimed the silver. Frenchwoman Eva Ayew took the bronze for France.
I'm very stoked. Last year was so close, got second behind Shanaze, and this year I really wanted it. I've been pretty consistent in all the World Cups.
With the women already across the line, it was time for the men to showcase their skill. With just 64 qualification spots now up for grabs, it was another tense top 16 shootout. With just 64 of the athletes qualified on, only top 16 would move on to the super final. And no real surprise when USA's Connor Fields again held his nerve to become the super final world champion. His lap of 25.8 seconds was enough to top a challenge from the home favorite Liam Phillips, who claimed silver for Great Britain, and just a fraction ahead of Frenchman Sylvain André, who took the bronze.
Yeah, it was really good. Liam's flying, and he's got the whole country behind him, and I'm sorry that I had to do that to him, but that's racing.
The elite women's qualifying round saw one of the favorites for the rainbow jersey head out in the first heat. Aussie Caroline Buchanan had little trouble living up to her billing as she posted 3 sub-30-second laps in succession. The big French guns Magalie, Pottier, Letitia Lecougui, and Manon Valentino showed their World Championship experience, all 3 coming through fastest from their heats. Pottier, who was the bronze medalist at last year's World Championships, was the quickest of the bunch. Reigning world champ Mariana Pahon also looked good on her return from injury. Britain's Shanaze Reade, who set the fastest time in qualifying, just inside 29.1 seconds, was joined in the quarterfinals by fellow Brit Abby Taylor. The final heat saw Papendale World Cup winner Elise Post also impress, alongside fellow team rider Amanda Giving. One of the reasons why you see sold-out signs here in Birmingham is the presence of British BMX poster girl Shanaze Reade. The soon-to-be 2-time Olympian is famously popular at home and one of the favorites for the rainbow jersey.
To come to the biggest race of the year in your home country is it's amazing. I just want to give it my absolute best, and if that's 5th in the final and whatever the result is, then as long as I come over that line and do my best. If I expect to go in and win everything and be perfect, then the outcome generally isn't where I want it to be. But if I go in and say I just want to focus on the process and do my absolute best, then that kind of takes that big pressure part of I've got to win everything, I'm this machine. It takes that away. And if I do the process well enough and come into the race as prepared as possible, then the results take care of themselves. I guess my style of riding is, I guess some would say it's on the edge, but also with me, what you see is what you get. I mean, I give it absolutely everything that I've got. I'm kind of known as the more power rider at the start, and yeah, that's what I work on, so I guess, yeah, that sums me up. Before you've won a world title, the easiest thing is becoming world champion, and then when you are world champion, the thing that drives you every day is to keep hold of that world title. I don't think anything more could have been chucked at me at the last Olympic Games, and I learned so much from that. And 4 years on and 4 years older, I feel like I've matured a lot. I've won a lot of world titles and British titles, and the biggest thing is the Olympic Games. I mean, I can't ever say I've won the Olympic Games, and that just drives you. On them bad days, or in the gym or on the track or at sprints, on them bad days, that's what you go back to. You go back to the root and the core of it, and for me, it's to be Olympic champion.
Well, we're heading down to take care of some business in the elite women's quarterfinals. Number 1 coming up. The French women have to be the favorites here. Strong starts down that first straightaway, and that's getting them away from the action, and a lot of carnage in the corners as we're looking at the number 3 plate. Oh, what a snap. Pottier down the gate with a quick start as she leads it out. Sarah Walker, the Kiwi. So 1 and 2 as they go into turn 1. Pottier holding her line nicely as they come through. Hernandez, Venezuela, look at the yellow and blue rider in the mix, struggling on that second straightaway to keep her form, but it's Pottier looking strong. Here comes Walker on the outside. Hernandez setting her up on the last turn as she goes inside. Oh, a big hit, and that just about cost her a placing, but Pottier will hang on for the win. That could have been a huge mistake for Hernandez, but she manages to squeak this one through. And we'll take a look here from the start. What a great start. The Kiwi and the Frenchwoman off to a huge run. And then nice speed as they gained a little bit more momentum coming out of turn number 1. Keeping their speed, not a lot of contact in there. A nice safe exit from the turn. And then the two are pretty much going head to head. You see Hernandez starting to struggle on the outside, getting a little bit desperate, and right there desperation showed. And even though she was in second or third, that could have cost her a position. Something to think about as these riders move on to the next round. And there you see the quick photo finish. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Hernandez got lucky this time as her and Caroline Buchanan, the 4th qualifier, on to the next round. And heat number 2 coming up, 4 more going on to the next round. We're going to look at Manon Valentino and Laetitia Lecorgui, 2 of the French women. And also we're going to be looking at Mariana Pahon, who owns the number 1 title from last year. She's just come back from injury and looking to stay in this group and just stay consistent to make it on top 4, moving on to the next round. And a good shot from the inside lane, looking from lane 1 across to lane 8. And the elite women take to the track again, round number 2 as they go. Lecorgui, so the French woman out to the lead right now, but here comes Pahon. She pops out of the mix, a nice tight corner, and away she goes right now. It's going to be Pahon's in the mix, Valentino challenging. Where's Laetitia Lecorgui, the former world champ? Just hasn't found her form yet. But it's all about a new Frenchman right there behind Pahon. That's Valentino Smulders of the Netherlands in the mix, and Ariel Martin of the U.S. just hanging on to try to keep her Olympic berth dreams alive at the finish line. And wow, what a great run for Valentino. Lecorgui out of the mix and out of transferring. That has to be big news for the French team. We'll get a good look down the first straightaway. The 2 French women tag there. Lecorgui dropped back a little bit. But here comes Pahon, a nice tight corner, and she rails it with Valentino in the mix. And a great job for Smulders of Netherlands staying in there as well, as the Dutch team trying to regroup, but Pahon really owned this race as she takes the number 1 plate all the way to the finish line and moves on to the next round. And moving on to the next round, crucial for Olympic dreams for many of these riders, as this race determines whether they will or will not make it to the Olympics. So Martin, Smulders, Pahon, and Valentino on their way. And this will be one of the races that the hometown crowd is waiting for. Shanaze Reade in round number 3. She needs to stay in the top 4 to move on. But you know what she's like. She's going to want to win this to get that hometown crowd energy behind her. And away she goes from lane 1. And look for that blue and red jersey. She shot out of the gate. What a great run she has. Oh, all kinds of riders down. It looks like 4 out of 8 have gone down, so some unlikely riders coming through the mix here. Wow, what a blowout. Rimshaite of Lithuania, of all riders, out there in the lead. Labnikova is in there. Alexeva all the way from the Czech Republic in the mix as well. So what an interesting mix of riders making it on. Probably not the top 4 we expected, but hey, on this track, anything goes. So Rimshaite moving on as the champ in this round. And what an interesting race it was right from the get-go. Let's take another look. We'll head up back to the start hill and see what happened there. As you see Shanaze Reade dejected, the hometown crowd, not enough to keep her on. She looked like she was just a little too excited and just went down all on her own. So back up to the start hill, we'll take a look and see what happens. They got off the gate good. Shanaze Reade in control of the race right there. You saw American Brooke Crane in the mix. And then boom, down goes Brooke Crane in 3, and then Shanaze Reade just out of the camera, also going down all on her own. Another great view. As the 2, nobody's touching at this point. Then there's a little bit of contact in the middle. And you can see things go wrong for Brooke Crane right there. A hard hit. And then Shanaze Reade just a little bit too much speed on the inside. And she's out of the race, and quickly it's Rimshaite who takes over the lead. So anything can happen once again. And a big change-up and big news in the junior women's classes. One of the perennial favorites, Shanaze Reade of Great Britain, is down and out and not moving on to the next round. So the last qualifier, Sequel Steen, Sandra Alexeva, Romana Lubnikova and Rimshaite moving on. And here we go with heat number 4, and we wanted to talk about a couple of riders in there. There's one American, Amanda Giving, and Elise Post. They should be two of the favorites, but look for Ava Ayoud of France. She's back on the World Tour. She kind of missed this pace a little bit last year. And away they go down the start hill again. Ava Ayoud trying to stay in the mix. Lauren Reynolds of the Australia out there as well. But look who blasts out. It's Elise Post of the U.S. on her way and in control right here. Coming back from injury as she charges through the second straight. Looking strong as they move it around. Ayoud's in the mix. Reynolds in the mix. So the top 3, we expected to see them in there. And who else is Amanda Giving struggling down that third straightaway. Oh! Gets the push. I don't know if she's going to make it. It's going to be a photo finish. And it's Post. Ayoud makes it through. And it looks like Riegers from the Netherlands squeaking out Geving. So disappointment for the U.S., but Elise Post keeping the Stars and Stripes dream alive. And here is another good shot. Down the hill we go. And Geving never really quite in the top 3, but held her own for a while. Elise Post, a nice line in the turn as she makes it through. A little bit of contact there, but everyone getting through safely until things changed a little bit later. And a great result for Ayoud, working her way back to the top of the French team, really trying to stick her nose in there for the Olympic crew. And too bad for Amanda Giving as Elise Post takes it out for Team USA. And you'll see the leaderboard here. We'll see who finally made it through. It was Amanda Giving just missing it out. And so Reynolds, Ayoud, and Post definitely the favorites going through to the next round. The men's round of qualifying saw favorite Connor Fields blast out in Heat 1, and the American quickly found his form, clocking the second fastest time of the round. Teammates David Herman and Nick Long also boosted the Stars and Stripes. More action saw Mark Willers and Maris Strombergs both posting sub-27-second laps. Quentin Colleron was one of 5 French riders to reach the quarterfinals alongside Joris Daudet and Moana Mukai. Team USA dominated qualifying with 11 riders transferring on. Corbin Sherratt, Josh Myers, Mike Day, and Weston Pope made it a clean sweep in Heat 6. Sherratt's sub-26.1 second lap was the fastest of the round. Among the other big names to miss out were Aussie Kaylin Young, Twain van Gent of Netherlands, and Britain's Liam Phillips, whose crash in the opening run brought his dreams of making the final to a quick end. Australian Sam Willoughby proved to be one of the most consistent riders with 3 fast runs in the final group to make it on to the next round. Despite his relatively young age, USA rider Connor Fields is a man used to dealing with high expectations. The 19-year-old is the overwhelming favorite for the rainbow jersey and an Olympic gold medal in London.
After the Olympics, the World Championships is the biggest event in BMX racing. You always want to do well at the Worlds. It's the one event when you're racing for your country. Wearing the stripes is one of the most prestigious things in cycling, and everyone wants to be able to wear the stripes. Everyone in Elite has trained. Everyone is doing pretty similar things in training and practice. Everyone's naturally talented. What it really boils down to is when you're in the start, who seizes the moment and seizes the opportunity and believes that they're gonna be successful, and who doesn't. I'm just trying to stay as relaxed as I can and kind of have a tunnel vision, block out everything around me, and just concentrate on 1 or 2 little technical things and just stay relaxed. People say I look like I'm out of control or I'm trying really hard, but I feel like I'm hardly trying sometimes, and I feel really relaxed out there. And if you ever see photos, I'm barely holding on to my handlebars, and I would describe the way I feel out there as relaxed. Doesn't look that way, but that's how I feel. I'm 19 years old and I've traveled the world. I'm 19 and I'm able to make a decent living, doing something I enjoy, being able to compete for your country, possibility of going to the Olympic Games. All those things make me excited. Plus, I just enjoy it. It's almost like a way to say thank you if I get to go to the Olympics. And you know, my grandma can tell all her friends, oh, my grandson's an Olympian. My dad can do the same, and I feel like that'd be a really cool thing to give to them.
It's time for the men's quarterfinals in Birmingham, and the riders are pretty anxious to get going. We're going to be looking at Connor Fields of the U.S. and also David Herman, who continues to impress along his day. An inside shot, and there he goes. It's Connor Fields. But look at Nick Long of the U.S. So U.S. dominating this moto, and heat right away. Look at the yellow bike streaking out, riding his own race. And what a crazy run he's got as Fields flying off the track. About to tell you that Fields was in second, now he's in last. So his day is done. What a huge surprise all by himself. And in a second, we're going to get a chance to look at that again. So Fields is out. That must be the biggest news of the day. Herman and Nolapo, let's check it out. So Fields got a bit of the squeeze there. Here comes Nick Long. A huge pop out of turn one. And Fields just hanging on to the inside line. Nolapo, so South Africa in the mix. And then down the second straight, things look like they were in control. Fields a little bit of a bobble, and just something happened right there. Got a little bit too far forward on the bike and torpedoed into the signs as Nick Long really rode away with that one. So still good luck for the U.S., but bad luck for Fields. Not going to be moving on. And Brian Kirkham, Nolapo also getting in there with the Americans. What a weird mix and a weird race that one was. And we're moving on to the second round. I bet you we're going to see a few more surprises. Maris Stromberg's in the mix, former world champion. And Mark Willers, the 777 from New Zealand. Here on the inside, a great push. The Kiwi down the start hill. Where is Latvia? There he is, the gold medalist from a few years ago, back to his form and in the lead right now. Willers dropping back a little bit. Quentin Colliron, one of the time trial specialists in there, and really pushing it through. Stromberg's riding his own lap as they go into the last turn. Colliron hanging on. 777 still in the mix, and is that going to be one of the last charging maybe for the finish line? It's going to be Anthony Dean of Australia squeaking out just past Barry Nobles of the U.S. So that was one crazy run as we go back to the hill and take a look. Here comes Latvia once again. Willers gets a bit of a squeeze on the inside, and then Colliron comes up on the inside to claim his stake in the race. But really, Latvia's Maris Stromberg's on his way to a clean and clear lap with that one. And you can see every time you go around that corner how low it looks and how tight these riders really have to go around, but no problem for the former world champ. So Anthony Dean, Willers, Colliron, and Stromberg's on to the next round. And away we go, heat number 3, back to the top of the hill we go, 26 feet high off the ground. Corbin Sherrod, Joey Bradford, a couple more Americans. In fact, a huge heat. I think 6 out of 8 here are Americans, so look for the white jerseys. The red, white, and stripes at the finish line. We know there's going to be at least 2. There could be more. And it's Sherrod leading it out right now. A good run for him as he's way away from the pack and out of danger in the corners. Bradford, Donnie Robinson, DR working his way through. Bronze medalist from the 2008 Olympics in the mix as well. So America dominating this round. The top 3 will be going through. DR squeaks it through in a great run. And a photo finish with DeWilde and Josh Myers. If Myers does make it through, that means America's got all 4 of the qualifying spots. And you can tell he's wondering what's going on right now. And posting as he does so, U.S. all 4 spots. Moving on, a great run, so they really literally dominated. Good to see Donnie Robinson, number 10 in the mix there. Trying to find his way. He didn't have the greatest start, but really worked his way into turn 1. Pushing a couple of riders up. And then Team USA right there dominating that straightaway as they pulled away. Donnie Robinson pulling his way back in there, trying to stay clear from the pack. And it's really one of those tracks where if you've got skill, you got to also use your brains and strategy to stay in the mix as they cross the line for the Americans. So Myers, Robinson, Bradford, and Sherrod on to the next round. One more rack to go, top 4 moving on. One of the riders to focus on is Frenchman Joris Daudet. He's last year's world champ and still working his way through the crowd. He's had an up and down season and looking to keep that world title, and it starts here with heat number 4. The inside lane, look at the red helmet, that's Willoughby with a great start. The Frenchman all over, dominating this heat as they go into turn 1. Willoughby just trying to stay in the mix. So a huge group, Mukai's in there. Daudet out to the lead, so the world champ in the driver's seat right now as they eke their way around the 3rd turn. Mukai in the mix, Willoughby also hanging out in there. He's surrounded by Frenchmen as the 2 Frenchmen move across the line first, so Daudet no problems with that heat. Mukai's in there, and Tyler Fierro of the U.S. squeaking it in, so U.S. a lot of riders moving through to the semifinals. And a great shot of the gate start. Willoughby had a good snap, but he got bumped out as the Frenchman really took over the race at that point. And Daudet rode his own lap, just like in the previous races for some of the Latvians, really out in front and looking confident as they go around. You get a good shot of the rhythm section. 3 riders, 4 riders going down again. So each of these racers featuring a little bit of competition and damage in the corners, but the Frenchmen escape and they're on to the next round. With just 16 riders left in the women's draw, it's time for an intense semifinals. And we're working up our way to the top of the start hill. We're going to be looking at a couple of French women in this mix, but the Americans trying to squeak their way into the final. And a good push off the inside. French once again with the inside lanes, but here comes Pahon owning it as she goes into turn 1, clean through. All the riders intact, which we haven't seen very often as they're working their way through. Valentino and Pottier trying to keep a smart move there, because sometimes the French women like to take chances, but they read that one pretty smart. They just want to make it through to the main event and keep their own Olympic dreams and podium dreams here alive, as those 3 will move on quite easily to the final. So a great shot is Ariel Martin, and we come down the hill. Where is Ariel Martin in this mix? Not doing quite well there. But look at Pahon, a little bit of push off that jump gave her just the right edge as she came into that turn. And look at Ariel Martin trying to work her way back into the mix and work through the traffic of that second straightaway. A little bit smoother. There you see her climbing up to the 4th position. And the French women keeping separated, playing it smart as they move into the 3rd straightaway. Pahon in charge of this race. And then kind of the same order going into the last turn. She looks around, nobody there. And you can see Ariel Martin with a little bit of space and breathing room as she takes the 4th and final position, keeping that Olympic hope alive. Bad news for Sarah Walker, but Martin, Pottier, Valentino, and Pahon on to the final. Next up, an intense final coming up for you. Elise Post of the U.S., one of the favorites here. A lot of riders who made it through in that crash-filled quarterfinal. Also in there, a great push off the inside. Elise Post with a big charge. Oh, 1 rider down. She is now out of another rider's down, so similar to one of the quarters. And Elise Post all the way with this race right now. I believe that is Czech Republic rocking it through there. That's Lubnikova and IU hanging on. So another crash-filled race to tell you about, but right now it's going to be Elise Post posting her big win and on to the main event. And a great run for Lubnikova, who's managed to avoid a lot of carnage today. And IU on her way to a final event. And we're going to get a chance to look at it again. Stephanie Hernandez gets loose. She's been taking some chances today. That one cost her a chance to go to the main event. And more riders and more carnage in turn 1 once again. And another great shot of the hill from afar. And you can see who's going to get the pedals in right here. Elise Post puts a couple cranks down. Everybody else kind of sort of coasting as they move their way into turn 1. Riders going down left, right, and center. Another one down there. But this race was all for Elise Post as she took the big win. And here's another great shot of Elise from the side there. Only 3 riders in the mix. Elise tugging it nice and low there, no tags. Nice and clean, so she's looking like one of the favorites as we head into the final. And just working that 3rd straightaway to her advantage, a little bit of a push there, nice and smooth. And then moving it through the last turn and on to that big white line that everyone likes to see first. And on to the main event. So Rimschaite almost made the vein, but a lot of crashes in there. Sequel Steen was the last qualifier. AU, Lebnikova, and Post moving on. And it's time for the men to really showcase the skill. This is where things get pretty serious. The semifinals, heat number 1 on the hill. You got former world champion Mara Stromberg's up there and a lot of other riders that could be in the mix going on to the main event. Top 4 will qualify through. And a great snap by the Latvian on the inside. Look at the spin that he puts together between those lanes. But here comes 777. That's triple trouble. Mark Willers, the Kiwi, in the mix right now. David Herman working his way through a great run through the first corner as our Supercross specialist in the mix right now. So smooth and right on the tail as Latvia's Stromberg struggles to stay there, but he will get the third and move on. So what a change-up as Willers really takes control of that one. And you'll see one rider down there, that is Safiso Nalapo. He's had a tough year already. Hopefully he's okay, but he won't be making the final. And we're going to get a good look at the start again. Look at Latvia on the inside. Stromberg's with a great run, but here comes the Kiwi, shuts the door and takes his own line. And look at that nice backside on there. A little bit of a bobble, but a good rail through that corner as he really ran away with that second straightaway, and a lot of carnage there. You can see Safiso going down. And a big crash on the next jump there. And then a great run as Willers hangs on. Here comes Herman. Nice backside on that jump, very smooth. And then you see a little bit of struggle by the Latvian trying to hang on, but at that point, not a big deal. Nick Long out of the mix. And it'll be Willers with a strong run there as he moves his way into the main event for the World Championships and a shot at the gold medal. And a good shot of last straightaway. You can see how short and quick it is. Not a lot of room to pass there, and Willers moving on. Joined with Anthony Dean, continuing to stay consistent, Strombergs and Herman. And away we go with heat number 2, back to the top of the hill. USA dominating this group. 5 riders, so you definitely know one of them's going to go. Shanaze should be one of them. On the inside, a great snap. Look for the red helmet of Willoughby if he's going to stay strong, and he does. Here comes Australia. Aussie all over the second straightaway. The Frenchman now coming into the mix there as we see Daudet trying to hang on. So 2 of the young guns really pushing it through. Donnie Robinson looking for his first main event run at the Worlds in a long time, and here he comes down the last straightaway. He will make it in. So a great run, Daudet across the line, Donnie Robinson. And here's a good shot of the start hill. 5 Americans wide, and everybody spread out all around the track. And look at the nice tight line as Willoughby really takes it over at that point. Daudet tucks in, and Mukai really smart on the inside, kept some speed. And there you see Donnie Robinson in the green helmet to the right of the screen, working his way through nice and smooth through that section. So his experience starting to show, and moving on to the main event, could be a threat in the main event. Once again, the bronze medalist working his way through into the last corner. But it was all about Sam Willoughby of Australia really pushing it hard to the line, and he'll be a contender in the main event. So great to see Donnie Robinson of the US back in a main event. As we mentioned, could be one of the contenders. Mukai, Daudet, and Willoughby moving on. Only 2 Americans survived the semis as the top 8 fastest men are on to the main event. All right, it's time for the women's showpiece event. It's the Elite Women's Final. Let's head to the start gate and take a look at who we have here. You know who she's riding for. Just missed her Olympic dreams in 2008. She wants it back. Ariel Martin. Sequel Steen, maybe a surprise to be on the starting hill. Ava Ayew, back and stronger than ever. She's matured and ready. Magalie Pottier, watch for a great start. Also aggressive in the corners. Romana Lubnikova stayed consistent. Glad to see her up on the podium. Manon Valentino, so the French team really the ones to look out for here. If anyone can spoil that party, it's Elise Post. She is the beast. Could be the winner today. Mariana Pahon looking for a repeat to not have to change that single digit off of her number plate. And away we go. A good snap on the inside. Hard to see right now. A lot of riders in the action. Is that Elise Post coming? Oh, she's down. One rider down. Magalie Pottier says, thank you very much. Won't have to do much work and just stay on her bike. So Elise Post with a hard crash, and it looks like Ariel Martin in the mix, so keeping that Olympic hope alive could be just what she needs right now. It's all about Magalie Pottier of France. With a bit of a push to the finish line, she's gonna hang on and win her first world title, with Ava Ayew back in action as number 2, and Lubnikova with a photo finish with Martin at the line. What a great race for the French women. Elise Post owned it. Tip to toe going down the start hill. Pahon was out of the mix right away. She got a little scared and pushed off the track. And look at that, Elise Post just got a little loose. Down she went. And thank you very much, says the French woman, as she really just ran her own race from that point. But started to lose a little bit of ground as they moved their way across there. Ayew really pulling back some time here, nice and smooth. Rails that second turn, and we'll look at them go down the rhythm section. Here comes Ayew. Really starting to narrow that gap, but it looked like Pottier just had enough, keeping a few bike lengths distance as she moves on to her first gold medal. Viva la France. So back at the top of the podium, that'll be Lubnikova, Ayew, and Pottier. Your top 3, with Pottier getting the gold.
It was a crazy lap. I do all with my heart, and I'm really happy to win, and I want to thank all my family, French team, and all people. Yes.
Here is the gate of 8. If there's anyone that you wouldn't have expected to be up here, it could have been Anthony Dean of Australia. He's going to be riding with nothing to lose. Great to see him up there. Moana Mukai from France could be one of the dark horses in the mix. Mara Stromberg's always deadly, always lethal. The guy knows how to spin. David Herman finds his way through the mix all the time. Could be one of the favorites here. Next to him, Donnie Robinson, his return to the podium. You know he's pretty psyched. He's also focused. 777. Mark Willows, the flying Kiwi. Look for him to be in the mix. Joris Daudet, also a chance to repeat as champion with that number 1 plate. And next to him, one of the guys that could be the spoiler, and definitely not underrated, that's Sam Willoughby. He's got just about every other title except for this one. Oh, Willoughby loads up a great start for the inside Daudet, so it's Daudet pops back. He's out right now. Where's Willers in the mix? And Stromberg's trying to get around that lazy first turn. The track really coming to effect, but Willoughby riding his own race. He's got the former world champ on his tail. The last turn could tell the mix, and he won't do it. Whoa, 777 goes for the buzzsaw. Doesn't quite get it, and it's gonna be Willoughby beats out the former world champ for his own first world championship title. What a great run for Australia in this one. You can see he's pretty psyched and pretty excited. Who wouldn't be? Doing the big toss to the crowd. He beat the former world champ on his way to victory. What a great run for Sam Willoughby. And we'll get a good chance to go back to the start hill to see how this race played out. But really, coming out of turn 1, it was all about Sam Willoughby. He got a great start. Joris Daudet got a bit of the squeeze right there, didn't get a chance to pedal. And then Stromberg's went a little bit high in that turn, gave up his positioning, and couldn't quite get back. And Willoughby really had the eyes on the prize for the beginning. And look at Willers in the mix there, struggling to get through that straightaway. But a bit of breathing room as Joris Daudet started to take the turn on and really put the heat on. And here goes Willers with really just no room to move and the only place to go. And Joris Daudet held strong on that one with a big pileup, and Willoughby runs away with it. So it's gold for Australia. And so Anthony Dean, one of the surprises in there, he did get the 4th. Mukai Daudet, bronze and silver. Willoughby with the gold.
Man, I don't even know. This is a dream come true. I won it in junior, but this tops everything. I dreamt of this since I was 6. Before I even started BMX, I was a fan, and I had an ice cream lid in my backyard on my bike with W1 on it, and here it is. And I just can't thank everyone enough. You know, the whole Red Line Bicycles, Cycling Australia, Australian Sports Commission, AIS. Those guys are behind me 100%. My parents are here and I love them so much, and just everyone, you know, Luke Medill helped me and helping me. My mate Andy Weaver at home, you know, he told me to take it by the balls and win it this weekend, and that's what we did.
So to the women's podium celebrations, and it's Magalie Pottier after another strong showing from France as they take 2 of the top 3 women's spots. And a similar theme in the men's, but finally Aussie Sam Willoughby captures that elusive world gold medal, beating out last year's world champ Joris Daudet in the process. Slam and Sam will be surely one to watch in London. That's all from the World Championships, as the attention now turns to the Olympic Games, where 32 men and 16 women will take their place in London.